All right, let's dive in. Yeah.
Let's dive in. I'm Jordan. I'm the CEO and one of the founders of Fitness.
And I'm Adam. I'm head of sales, also co-founder at Fitness.
And we're here in the middle of Austin, Texas, our home base. And we wanted to give you a couple of updates on how we're doing, why we built this thing, and what you should expect from Fitness in the near future.
We're super excited. We've actually just launched a handful of gyms in St. Louis, but Austin, Texas is our home base. So we're really excited to launch additional gyms and just have a hub where everybody can come and hang out and kind of explore from there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I guess maybe we should start here in Austin because this is actually where we met Adam.
Yeah.
So I had been on this startup journey for a little bit. I had lost a lot of weight about 8 years ago, and I was like, why can you not buy a gym membership by the day or by the week? Why is this so difficult? And I was like, it shouldn't be. And so that's how I started on this journey. But Adam and I, we met here in Austin because already had been working in startups previously.
Yeah, I've spent about 15 years working in AI tech startups. And as one of the benefits of that, you get to work remotely. So I've actually lived in 4 states in the past 5 years. And as part of that experience, getting a gym membership is not necessarily part of that equation. It's really hard to commit to a 12-month annual contract when you're constantly moving and bouncing from city to city, state to state. So when I saw Jordan had posted this idea and concept on LinkedIn and he was looking for a partner in crime, it made total sense. Everything clicked. And not only did the vision make sense, but the execution was something that I fit in nicely as well. So I reached out on LinkedIn. I think I harassed you a little bit via DMs. And I was like, where are you? I'll come and meet you. And he just so happened to be, 5 minutes, 10 minutes from where I live. So I took an Uber and we met in person and the rest is history.
Yeah. So it's been wild because you never know who you're going to meet on this journey. I think one of the things when you're starting a startup is that it's a very lonely endeavor. You get really used to building like at your mom's house or in some of the
in a basement
in the basement
so, yeah.
or in some of the cheapest hotels in America.
Yes.
For real.
Yeah.
And so you just never know who you're going to meet on the journey. And so meeting Adam was like truly a godsend for what we're doing next. And so, yeah, that's how we got started.
Yeah. So tell me more about your vision though. How did this idea come to be? I know you said you had lost a lot of weight, but I'd love for everybody to learn like what the genesis was for you to birth Fitness.
Well, so I had a background in health previously. Before starting Fitness, I had a chronic pain clinic in Toronto that I was running for about 10 years. So we would see any type of injury that you could think of, car accidents, slip and falls on the ice because we were in Canada, just any type of injury you could think of. And so that already had my mind thinking about healthcare because I don't know if you know this, I went to school for film of all things.
Makes sense.
So it's a long journey how I ended up.
Many trades.
I wear a lot of hats. So it's a long story how I ended up, doing healthcare and now doing this whole fitness thing in tech. But that was my mind, as I was always interested in making sure that people had access to healthcare. Because if you think about chronic pain doesn't wait for anybody. If you've got a broken leg or a broken arm or something, you can't wait 3 to 6 weeks to get in to see a doctor. Everything is urgent. And so that helped me start to think, well, we've got to move fast. Everything that we do, has to be, immediate, getting a referral or anything else. And I think that all of that directly translated into this because when I was losing the weight, it was easy for me to go to the gym in Toronto. I could make my meals. I could do, just the normal stuff. But I've been a world traveler this whole time. Like last year, I was in 46 different cities. I was in 16 different countries. I mostly spent my year in Germany, Brussels, Spain. I love Spain. I was in Paris. And what I realized is that it was impossible for me to buy a gym membership that worked in all of those countries. And it was impossible for me to find a gym membership just for a day or a couple of days. And for me, coming from that health background, it just didn't make sense because I think, maybe it's crazy, but I think that going to the gym is just as essential a form of healthcare as seeing your doctor, as seeing your dentist, as seeing your psychologist. It's the way that you can take care of your physical body. And there are so many barriers right now when it comes to actually just getting into the gym that I think it's actually it's a determinant of health, whether or not you're able to get in and to do your thing. And so all these things coalesced, my background in film, my experience in healthcare, my passion for tech. I was working at the Genius Bar at the Apple store. So it all kind of coalesced into how we're doing this now. And it's been the hardest thing I have ever tried to do, Adam.
Yeah, but it's going to be one of the most worthwhile endeavors, because not only are you going to get personal satisfaction out of building and growing this, but also helping people and giving them access to, your point is so astute, like healthcare matters, and it's not just dentist, doctor, specialist, it's actually taking care of yourself and having the access and opportunity to go to the gym.
Yeah.
So I love this idea of what you're talking about, where from our worlds, this idea came to be, and it's a good segue into talking about the gym ecosystem today and where we're at, because you've obviously traveled all over the planet. I've been living all over this country. Health and wellness matters to both of us very, very much. And I think that as the world evolves technologically, especially in the AI world that we live in today, things are moving so quickly, so rapidly. But the gym world, I would argue, has not really evolved and kept up with that pace. We are still at the mercy of 12-month contracts, and God forbid you do need to cancel or want to cancel for whatever that reason. You are signing over a kidney to do so, back taxes, some kind of proof of life to go anywhere. So what matters to fitness is that you have options, and you have the access and the ability to go try different things. And whether that is you traveling to a different city for vacation or for work, or you just move someplace new, or you've been in the same city forever and you just want to see what else is out there. And sure, gyms do offer day passes from time to time, but having the time or the ability to go navigate to every single gym's website to find which ones do or which ones don't, what the cost might be, what it might not be, you now have a centralized repository of every gym in whatever your designated area is that you could just quickly pull up on an app, find what's in your vicinity, and more important than that, slice and dice it by amenity. So if there are certain styles or types of equipment that you like, or a gym environment, or services that you really prefer, you now have that capability to filter for whatever matters to you most, and then go and try that gym. And that's on the consumer side of things. On the flip side, and I really want your input on this as well, is like there's a huge benefit for the gym as well, because we are the target market for short-term members that you might not be able to get on a 12-month contract, but we're going to pay you, we're going to give you money, and that's just an additional revenue stream that you might not necessarily have at any given time.
Yeah, that's kind of the interesting thing about what we've been building, because one of the best things about this startup journey is that you get to meet a lot of people. Just in the past week, I was in 5 different cities. I started my trip in Indianapolis. I was in Chicago, Milwaukee, St. Louis, back to Indianapolis, Atlanta, Austin. I go to New Orleans tomorrow, then I go to Orlando. Crazy, right? And the thing
that's a choice. That's a lifestyle.
We're doing things that don't scale here. But what I realized is, that's the whole thing, is that when we talk to the gyms and we say, hey, this is the opportunity that we have, the app is free for the gyms.
Yeah, free for gyms.
So the upside is, right now, there's not necessarily a way to convert the demand that we already know exists for people to go to the gym. I think that's one of the kind of no-brainer things about fitness, is that there's not a cost involved with the gyms to sign up.
On both sides either, right? So as a consumer, you're going to pay your daily rate, but there's no cost for the app or the platform. Again, we want this to be accessible. And then for the gym, there's no cost either. And it's funny that you talk about your upcoming travel schedule, because Jordan and I did a road trip a couple weeks ago, but it was mostly in Central Texas. We shot over to Dallas and then San Antonio, and we visited, 30 gyms in the span of 2 days.
Yep.
And the resounding theme, and for anybody watching, I hope that this resonates with you as well, is that people have been looking for a solution like this. Everybody that we talk to, they're like, oh my God, this is a no-brainer. This makes total sense. We need something to get more visibility, across all the different gyms that exist in our location. How do we stand out? How do we get more visibility to people that might not know that we exist?
We met a gym yesterday, and they're right next door to one of the big, expensive, big box gyms that starts with an E that we're not going to name in this video. And when we spoke with one of the staff there, we said, why do your people go to this one versus the big box? And he said, I don't know. He's like, I don't know why they come here.
Straight up, right off the rip, said, I don't know.
And for us, we thought, but you guys deliver a unique experience. You guys are local,
premium. Yep.
and you've got this big behemoth right next to you to compete with. How are you going about attracting the right people that are coming in your door? And that's the kind of thing that every time that I talk about fitness, I have to resist the urge to say, this is brand new technology for the world. This doesn't exist yet. It seems like something that should exist. We know that hotels.com exists, booking.com exists, Airbnb exists. There is nothing for the fitness industry that exists in this way until now. So I think that's one of the cool things is just kind of showing people what's possible, because in the fitness industry, we know that people are running on paper and Windows 98 in some of these gyms.
Yes.
Some of these gyms are cash only. Yep. Some of these gyms do not take credit cards. Many of these gyms are not bookable online at all. And when you think about the modern age and you think, well, how would you book a restaurant right now? Oh, well, there's an app for that. I can go book an
Open Table.
Right. How would I book a hotel? Okay, well, Expedia, Airbnb,
Hotels.com.
How do you buy a gym membership for when you're in one of your cities that you're going to? Freeze, brain crack. And that's the whole thing that we're thinking about. I think the reason why some people haven't been able to tackle this in the past is just because this is extremely difficult. It's one of the most difficult things to start any business as a marketplace, because you need buy-in on the partner side. You also need buy-in on the consumer side. It's like balancing plates at the same time.
And it's also very much a chicken and egg situation as well. It's like, where do you start and invest the time, energy, resources? Do you get the gyms so that the people have a place to go, or do you need the demand from the people and then bring that to the gyms? And truthfully, we've tried to balance both.
Yeah.
I think you've done a phenomenal job with your awareness campaigns, specifically in the early days with some of the waiting lists on Reddit. Validating the idea early, particularly here in Austin with some of the local gyms that we've been fortunate enough to partner with, and just building that anticipation and the excitement around what we're actually doing. So we know that it works. We know there's an appetite. We know that gyms want to be a part of this. It's multi-threading this idea on both sides simultaneously has been, to your point, both a challenge, but also really, really fun. And we get to work with amazing people that actually care about health and wellness and want to improve their bodies. So this is just an added benefit for everybody to be able to improve both personally and professionally.
Yeah. I think one of the things that's been cool about the fitness industry is that the fitness industry is so much about the people in the community, the people that they serve. When we talk to gym owners, they're really passionate about their communities that they've built. We even heard that yesterday. That was one of the first things that they told us. And I think that is something that is really special about this industry. I think that if we were building NFTs, for instance, no shade, but there's not necessarily a community of NFT builders, you know what I mean? It's not really about like the warm and fuzzy feeling that you get of seeing the same people over and over, or seeing people improve their health. It's just kind of a different vibe, but that's one of the best parts about working in the fitness industry is the communication.
And I think you made another good point that I want to circle back to about some of these gyms that are still doing paper and pen, or still have only credit card machine, or they're cash only.
Cash only. Yeah.
I think we offer them another solution to advance, and I don't mean that in a condescending way at all. We want to make sure that we're honoring their culture, their style, but we want to make sure that they don't get left behind. And I think that there's something really important, not just the community of people that go to these gyms, but the essence of what they mean in their local community as an institution. We talk about mom and pop as a style of gym, and we're not looking to change a mom and pop store. We're looking to build around them. We want to partner with you. We want to make sure that you get the right people in your doors, because there might be somebody out there that is perfect for your space, perfect for your coaching, perfect for your programming, but they just don't know you exist yet. And they need the push to be able to look on our app and say, oh, I didn't even know this is 6 blocks away from me. Let me pop in and see what it's about, try it for a day. That day becomes a week, that week becomes a month, and next thing you know, you have improved and higher conversion because somebody walked through the door that you didn't know was your perfect match. So we are trying to balance both the technological side with the community side while maintaining the essence of who these gyms are from a cultural standpoint.
Yeah. And you might be a gym owner yourself. So, what are the steps actually, Adam? How do you get on the platform? We've warmed you up. You're pitched. You're convinced.
Yeah.
Okay, fitness is
You're
the
in.
thing. Okay, we've been talking about this for a while. What are the steps to sign up?
It's super easy. We've automated this in such a way where you come to our website, fitness.fit, and fitness is spelled FTNSS without the vowels.
No vowels.
And it's very turnkey. So we want this we want you to be able to upload your waivers. We want you to be able to select the necessary amenities and services that you provide. You have the capability to upload photos, both from a branding perspective and of the gym itself, so people get a sense of what your environment actually looks like. And it should be 20 minutes or less to actually sign up. It is incredibly easy. And one of the additional benefits is you actually get analytics on everything as well. So in addition to a very easy sign up process, as people continue to join your gym, and I'll save the real thunder for you with the amount of money that people will be able to see in addition. I lost my train of thought.
That's okay. You can pause and restart. Yeah, that's okay. It doesn't have to be a full.
So in addition to people being able to see your gym and all the services that you provide through the photos and the amenities, with the analytics piece, you're going to be able to understand who's coming through the door, how the conversion rates are actually manifesting themselves, and what that additional revenue stream actually looks like. So I don't know if you want to share what we've seen so far in the marketplace with some of those additional revenue streams.
Yeah. So what we are targeting for every gym that we partner with, based on the data that we've seen so far, is that we think that we can make each gym that we work with anywhere from $1,500 to about $2,000 a month net each month, every month, in perpetuity. Now, it's not going to start at the beginning. It's kind of like, like you buying a house. The house is a pre-construction house. Yeah. The house is not going to be ready on day one. It's going to take some time to ramp up. But what we've seen is tremendous activity on our website almost immediately every time a gym signs up. And so what we're providing to you is the analytics to say, hey, we know that X amount of our customers are coming from close to your gym, or some of them might be coming from abroad. On average, they're spending X, Y, and Z dollars on each membership. We've seen that we can convert a certain number of these people into paying customers each month. And all of this that we're talking about is free.
With any new technology, there is a ramp-up period for people to adopt it. Think about Uber or Airbnb. It wasn't that the app was born and people were instantly booking, but now it's become institutionalized as the go-to service if you need to book a car and get somewhere, or if you want to book someone's house as you travel. We have that same vision, and we've already seen such a amazing support system around gym goers and gym owners that we anticipate this to ramp up incredibly fast. We are 2 people, so just the 2 of us, boots on the ground, literally traveling around Texas. Jordan just talked about his roadshow in the next 72 hours. Mm-hmm. We are doing everything we can to get as many people integrated and involved in this as possible. And it's just been such a blessing that people have seen the benefit and the positivity in what we're trying to do. So there's excitement there. So, coming full circle with this, there's ease of signing up. You don't have to meet with Jordan and I personally to do so. We want to. So if there's a Zoom session that we can do, we can help you onboard. We're happy to do so. But if you're a gym goer, download our app. If you're a gym owner, jump on the website and we can shepherd you through that process. Again, it's fitness.fit. There's no cost on either side. Follow us on social media as well, Instagram.
Yeah.
Are we on TikTok?
Absolutely, we're on TikTok. So you can find us all on fitness.fit or some variation thereof. And just check out the links in this video. All of our descriptions for everything that we've talked about in this video and our links are going to be in the comments below.
Yeah, and also feel free to subscribe. We're going to try to get better about not just doing these kind of, how would you classify this? Fireside chat, podcasty, whatever this is. I think this is fun and it's a good opportunity for us to talk about what we're doing and building. But we also want to give a behind the scenes view, like the testing that we're doing, talk to our engineers, engage with the community, talk to people that have booked, talk to gym goers that are using the app, gym owners that are seeing the benefits. We're going to try to be really good about being open and candid about how our business is actually being operated, because it's important to us.
Yeah, and I also think if you're a founder in general, definitely subscribe to this channel, because one of the things that we didn't know is that there's a big community out there if you know where to look. And we've been fortunate enough to find mentors, supporters along the way. But you would never know the inside of a startup without seeing what other people have gone through.
Yeah,
so if you really want to see what it's like, if you want to see what the roller coaster is really like,
the good, the bad, the
good,
ugly.
the bad, the whole thing, subscribe
The
today.
lack of sleep.
No sleep, cars, buses, flights, all that. But it's the adventure of a lifetime, honestly. And I think it is a gift to have a dream and go for it. I think so many people never try. And I think for me, when I was working on this journey, I think that the biggest thing that I was afraid of wasn't whether or not we would fail or not. It's that would I regret not trying to make this a success when I had the opportunity? And would I look back in 5 years and say, wow, I wish I had just tried. I wish I had just given it to, that shot.
That's great. One thing that Jordan always says after every single call, whether it's with he and I or with our engineering team or team stand-ups, he always says he doesn't sleep.
Yep.
Call him, text him, email him. It doesn't matter if it's 12:30 in the afternoon or 3 o'clock in the morning. He is always readily available. And I think that's just a testament to this startup life, grinding it out, doing whatever it takes to make sure that this thing actually works and is successful. And just being available. It's just so important in startup culture as a show of faith and just desire to be on the front lines. Like, I know that the engineer team is so energized every time they get off a call with us, because we're not just kicking them work and saying, hey, get this done. It's no, we're out here with you on the front lines, very flat organization. Yeah. Everyone's impact and decision making actually matters. So it's true startup culture.
Yeah, and I think that talks a little bit, and thank you, but that talks a little bit about the leadership style that I learned working in my medical clinic, which is that I could have never built this thing on my own. If I could, I would have done it many years ago. The reality is that startup life is a team sport. And I think one of the best ways to lead a team and to have everybody engaged is to lead from the front. So what does that mean? I am not going to call you and say, you didn't do a good job today, and you didn't do this and that, and where is my, blah, 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 blah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to book every flight. I'm going to schedule the road trip. I'm going to go and do all the work that I possibly can, and I'm going to show the rest of my team, this is what I'm doing. This is how hard I'm working. You can see that I'm not sleeping. You can see whatever. And if that rubs off on the rest of the team and says, oh, well, maybe I could do a little bit more. Okay, Jordan's up at 3 a.m. Okay, maybe we can do this together. That's kind of the leadership style that I found works the best. Because in this world, you have to have a good team. And I think that's one thing, we were fortunate enough to participate in Antler's most recent accelerator. Actually, maybe we should do a video talking about Antler. Yeah. It was a great experience going through that cohort. But one of the things that I realized while I was there is that the idea is important, the people building, the product is important, the concept is important. The most important thing is making sure that your team is solid internally.
People are everything.
Completely.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that we've never had to worry about is Adam going to cuss out one of the engineers, and are they going to start fighting? Are they going to come to fisticuffs? Is that ever is that ever a thing? Which seems bizarre, but we know other companies that do. We know other companies that fight. We know companies that went bankrupt. We know all sorts of stuff. And for me, it's about keeping the vibes high, but also keeping everybody on the same accord. And so for me, I think that's probably the most important thing that I would tell any startup founder, is just to do your best to make sure that your team culture is very solid, because this thing is very, very, very difficult.
Yeah. And candidly, this is something that Jordan and I, when we first met, it was actually one of our first conversations, because toxic culture exists in startup. It's almost like a hand in hand. Like, yes, they're super fun. And we actually swapped some horror stories about things that we've done and experienced. And, we haven't gone through a rigorous values exercise, because we're good people that care about each other and care about this industry and care about the people that we work with. But it was one of the connecting threads between us that hey, we want to do this the right way. And, I can honestly say that it's been pervasive in almost all of our decision making.
Yeah.
It's been such a treat to be able to have a workspace that is actually fun, engaging, and you don't have to worry about the backstabbing or the politics. So for anybody that is in the startup world, it is possible. It does exist. So just make sure that you maintain your own personal values and live up to those, not adhere to anybody else's expectations. And I think that speaks to like the whole Antler experience as well. Is like there were certain things that I know that you liked and certain things that you didn't like. And ultimately, it led you to the decision to not take the funding, which is kind of a big deal. Like, not sacrificing yourself and the equity because you knew you had something that you could actually continue and pursue without, sacrificing any part of yourself.
Yeah, I agree. Well, with that, why don't we save that chat for the next video? So if you want to learn more about what it's like to be a part of a venture-backed accelerator, if you want to know what the inside of Antler is like, if you want to know just what it's like starting up a startup, stay tuned for the next video.
Again, download our app, visit our website, fitness.fit, FTNSS.fit, no cost. And subscribe to our channels. We're going to do a really good job about pushing out content as much as we can. Instagram, TikTok. Anything else we should add?
I think that's it. Yeah. So we'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks for listening.